Alrighty, so we're here with the Burnet Music Community here just to talk about who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing, and we've got let's see, we got Sean Linder has been here probably the longest, right? I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty old.
He's pretty old, yeah. We got Shannon, and then Nick has just recently joined us. We found him at Bill's, and we're able to keep him somehow.
Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice little combination there.
Found you at Bill's, huh?
Oh yeah, I found him at Bill's. I got invited by accident
Yeah, he was just running around out there.
with a stranger.
With the
and,
ducks.
Yeah, and then I saw Sean immediately across the room, and I hadn't seen Sean probably 8 years, and it seemed like there had been no time that had passed between, and just you could read the fellowship of the Spirit just coming off of Sean, and in a world where you're looking to be welcome somewhere, the guy really made me feel welcome and at home. Just in a burger joint.
All right, good job, man. Very nice. Sweet. Okay. Yeah,
I aim to please.
Yes, please. Well, yeah, we kind of have, and we're like intentionally doing things a little bit different here. When we started a music team, as you guys know, it's like a lot of churches or communities around a church, like, let's have a worship team. That worships on Sundays, and it's the music, and we worship to the music. But we want to do a little bit more, and as far as like, let's kind of stretch this and make some ways to be a little more of a community, and so kind of a few things I wanted to talk about is we're trying to be more like the church in Acts 2. So I mean, it's probably no secret that the American church doesn't exactly look like the Acts church, right? And it's partly our fault. It's partly because of like our society is just totally different right now. Like that ain't happening. But there's some things that we can share. I've noticed probably none of us are rich here, probably. So right.
My students think I am, but I'm definitely not.
Okay, well there you go. We'll see how your students. Yeah, see. Hopefully your students watch this and they see, principal's not rich. So yeah. No, okay. There's that section. You also may notice we have Chill at Bill's coming up in a couple of days as of the recording of this podcast. And some people might wonder, why is a church out there playing worship music and cover music? Like, it's not even necessarily Christian. So we'll talk about that. And then rounding us out, we want other people to join us. If you want to honor Jesus with your music, come on down, And probably be best to live in Burnet, because that might be hard if you're like in Idaho or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's a long drive.
Okay, so a couple things here. Yes, so Acts 2, Acts 2, 44 through 45 describes all believers having all things in common. And so, and in our world, that can work pretty well for musicians. Like what all do we share? Actually, you know what? I have some great examples. The two mics you guys are on, you're speaking on the mic, Nick, that you bought some mics from me, so I was able to buy that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're using Sean's lights here with Hightown Media. And heck, Sean and I even started, a film company. I'm helping him do that. And then I guess it was Ethan bought the other mic, which on Shannon. Sorry, I bought a computer from the church, and so the church is able to buy that mic. So
Nice.
Some examples, right? What else do we share? What else? Some other things.
This is my mic.
Yes, we're sharing Sean's mic. He's sharing his own mic, but no, he's letting us use a lot of his gear. And we're kind of dividing up a lot of the duties. Trying to things like what do we do? We help mix. We pick songs together.
Yeah.
We
share instruments. We certainly do.
We
that.
do share instruments. That's right. Yeah, we do.
It's not every day you get to play, a high-end guitar, but sometimes you have friends that just have them laying around, and the joy of playing a nice guitar when you play a cheap guitar. Sometimes going to a nice guitar is like driving a Ferrari every once in a while that you don't have to buy.
Yeah.
But it encourages you, obviously, to get closer to buying one.
Yeah, I like to be the guy who collects nice guitars, just doesn't know how to play them very well.
I don't know. I would beg to differ, but yeah, we don't have to buy everything in the world. Like, how much would it cost to buy a whole studio?
Oh,
A lot.
$1 million, $2 million.
Depends on what you want to put in it, for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And then live gear. We're heck, the church is a combination of some of my gear, some of the church's gear, and so we're trying to mix and match and not waste so much of God's money. That's a lot of the idea. And so,
make it go a little further, stretch it out some. Yeah, absolutely. So. That's how we're going to make it in a tight economy. And,
Yes.
you know, and that's probably how they were doing it in Acts 2. And, you know, that not everybody did have maybe an ox or something to plow fields with or to haul maybe large loads with. But, you know, somebody probably among the crowd did, and they didn't use it all the time. And it just works more efficiently whenever we can share, you know, what we do have, our gifts.
Truth. Well, we also share who's leading different songs. You know, we take turns on all of those different areas. So I think I'm not part of the, well, I was going to say I'm not a musician. That's not true. I am a musician. I don't play guitar. I do play piano, but I haven't played in a while, and so I haven't played with our team yet. But just being able to move and being in different places, whether it's backup vocals or lead vocals or trading off who's leading, you know, which part of a song, all of that sharing together is part of it too.
Yeah, you know, and I come from this that it's like it gets really boring, say a concert or especially a church, if it's all like focused on one person. Well, it's not even biblical, I don't think. You know, it's also really boring too. And so, yeah, it's fun. It is fun to move around. Like, how many different instruments do y'all play at Bill's?
Yeah.
We'll find out with you, I guess.
Yeah,
Nick.
absolutely. We're going to find out.
You play a lot. Sean, you're drumming, playing lead guitar, playing acoustic guitar, you're leading.
Yeah.
You probably played bass.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to, I'm not really. I mean, once you can play guitar, I mean, you can pretty much get the bass taken care of, unless you're trying to, you know, be super elite at it, of course. But
Yeah.
you can at least get the job done. Yeah, a few different things. It's fun. For me, I don't get to play very often, other than playing at church. I stay pretty busy. So when we go to Bill's, even though it's once a month, able to kind of get out of my system and rotate, get a little drums in, get a little guitar, a little singing. And then I sneak off quite a bit to eat chicken wings and hang out with people and
That's
just
right.
pop in and play guitar solos or something.
Also part of the beauty, yeah. Us musicians get to just, you know,
Yeah.
we're not like tied down. Also, that is something that, I mean, if you've ever been in a band, it's like, what happens when somebody leaves the band, doesn't have time to do it, and you're like depending on them? Are people happy? No, they're not happy. They're mad. You know, even if they have a good reason to leave. I've noticed this so much. Somebody has to go because what they have to, like, I don't know, run a family. They have to have a real life. You know, they don't have time, and people are mad because, oh, we put all this stuff into it.
Yeah.
Well, it's part of the idea here is like, I did notice, at least church worship teams, they don't rise and fall on, you know, one person, you know, and hey, let's do that with a community cover band too, you know, that works pretty well.
Well, we did
Absolutely.
hit that for just a little bit after Lyndon moved back to San Antonio.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was pretty much the lone drummer for church for a while. We were really pretty heavily dependent on him, which as his stepmom, that was a great thing. He needed to have a place to be. But when he left, I think it kind of threw things a little bit in a lurch. It was suddenly, oh, well, Sean now is, instead of playing guitar, he's got to go in there and cover drums. Or now Mario, instead of being on uke, he's got to get back in there and cover
right.
drums. And so it's been a little bit of a
Yeah.
transition.
Yeah, it was worse before we got there 'cause I was having to play drums a lot. And so I missed playing guitar. And then Lyndon showed up, and then Shiloh came back. So now we've got enough drummers. Mario learned how to play drums.
He's
So
getting
that's
better.
been pretty cool. So it's kind of, you start playing with a group, you kind of pick up other instruments too.
Yeah, that's something that we're teaching the kids music, and I tell them, like, okay, guys, like, it's the body of Christ. God tells us to do different things so we can be a whole person, a whole body, a whole unit, you know? So a band's a really good way to use that. I mean, if everybody played guitar, it wouldn't be a band. It'd just be like a whole, I don't know, entourage of guitars, I guess.
Yeah.
Might be awesome, but
Yeah.
I've seen the Eagles do it.
oh yeah, did they do it? Yeah,
I've
nice.
seen them do it. Yeah, just straight acoustics. Everybody's
Well,
got
that's
an
yeah.
acoustic.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
We're
go
not
wrong
the
with,
Eagles, though.
can't have too many guitars.
That's debatable, Sean.
Yeah, well, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about, like, if you're, okay, So we do Chill at Bill's. What are y'all's thoughts about Chill at Bill's? It's fun. What's good and bad about it? I don't know.
I think it's great. It's, the way I see it, without trying to, justify any specific thing, I guess, is it's just a way for us to get out in the community. Our families come. It's fun. So we're having fun together. Our families are there. We're meeting new people. We're able to meet people and, pray with them. We're able to talk to them. And I think really a lot of ministry, at least in my walk, is really just the everyday people I'm able to cross paths with. And so we're outside of church more than we're in church. And ultimately we are the church. So that shouldn't be a surprise. So I don't really put this weight on it where it has to be a certain way. It's just like, like you said something earlier about, why would you mix worship music with cover music? Well, just because it's not Christian music necessarily doesn't mean that it's bad, So we're obviously not playing anything vulgar or, occult or antichrist or anything like that, And so we're just having fun. We're playing music that's appropriate. It's fun for any age, and we're just out meeting people, spending time together. So.
Yeah. And that's it. Y'all have something you were trying to say?
Well, I agree. The Bills thing for me, I think what made it most special was that it was an opportunity for my mom, when she was still here, she could come out, sit outside, enjoy listening to the music without feeling like she was just in church. Like there was music she was enjoying. It made her feel connected. And then, my sister and her kids that get to come. And so we get an opportunity to be together in an area where maybe we wouldn't normally just go and hang out for 3 or 4 hours, but we have purpose. It's a nice evening. We know people, and it's good music. So it's hard to not enjoy the good music, whether it's covers, whether it's the Christian pieces. It's a little bit of all of it. And I think when our community sees the body of Christ, the church, coming out into the community, and we're singing in those ways, and we're singing covers, they see us doing normal things. Like, oh, wait, they can listen to real music too? Mm-hmm. It's not just hymns, or it's not just what's on K-Love, or, that it crosses that barrier. I think it opens doors.
And that's part of it, like, they're like, let's just admit right now, all Christians listen to secular music. I mean, like, surprise, surprise. Yes, we do. We like it too. Yeah. And, go ahead. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, physically, I love the open air environment. I like to be outside. And, that was the thing that drove me towards y'all's group, was that, I was able to see guys who were actually able to praise God in public, singing songs that you would hear at church, but they could also cross over and they could be secular songs. If you didn't have the word God in there, you wouldn't know that it was a Christian song. And I think there's a lot of times that, there's even some secular songs that maybe they don't have the word God written in them, but they might have love written in them, right? And you can't say God without saying love at the same time, I don't believe. And just being able to go somewhere and, like you say, that's just the greatest word, be around these people are doing normal stuff. Mm-hmm. And it just blew me away too, that, that's always been a dream of mine in the back of my mind, that I love secular music, but I love Christian music as well. And always having to divide it in my life led me to having, sort of divided life, and able to combine it together in a healthy way. And like Sean says, with just, clean songs. We're not playing anything provocative, or we're not using any kind of cuss words or anything like that. Just making sure the song has an overall good message behind it. And
yeah, I mean, I don't know why anybody would have the idea that, as Christians, we don't still deal with, human emotions and trials and stuff. So a lot of music, is very relatable. Obviously, there are lines. There's a lot of music that I don't listen to for sure. Um, none of it's because I'm worried about appearance. It's just, when you're born again, you're a different person. So
Absolutely.
the things that you used to love, you can even hate. Things that you used to not be into, you love. It's and so there's definitely music that I gave up a long time ago. And I'm just the type of person God put it on me to really dig into a lot of stuff. And so if there were lyrics that just really weren't great, it didn't have to be cuss words, but if there's some famous musician, but they're occultist, or they're and they're putting that kind of stuff in there, or antichrist thing, like, yeah, I mean that wouldn't make sense for me to want to listen to that. But as far as that goes, I mean, music that's not doesn't have anything crazy in it. It's you'd want to avoid, because we can condition ourselves to stuff too. So we want to be intentional about what we hear, what we put the people that we're spending time with, mostly. Like, we need to be careful with those things. We don't want to give ourselves too much credit.
Yes.
Kind of be on guard a lot of times, because we want to influence ourselves for good, to get better, to grow. But yeah, as far as anything that's not inappropriate, or that's not going to influence somebody in the wrong way, I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
One that we've all pretty well matured. I think I know Sean and I definitely started off listening to secular music. I can't speak for Jason
Yeah.
Shannon, but
Yeah, he
definitely
listened
we
to a
did.
lot of Mariah Carey and stuff.
Yeah.
Right, Gary.
And it's just the maturity as a Christian believer to understand that, not just, the thoughts that I think on if I'm singing a song in my head, but also the things that come out of my mouth, they have a profound effect, not just in the spiritual realm, but in reality. And it will manifest itself. And so understanding that, the words that I speak are someday going to be a harvest that I'm walking into. And so, I mean, this is just an incredible opportunity to come somewhere and I mean, to be able to prophesy, right? I'm singing God's blessings over our lives. We're not just singing over our lives. If you come and attend, you're also getting that same blessing sang over your life. And it's just an incredible opportunity to not just serve our lives and family, but to serve, your family, your lives as well.
Yeah, it's pretty funny though, because I don't listen to music almost ever. So play music, but almost never listen to it. I'm always listening to podcasts, or more informative stuff, and always trying to figure out how to do something, or
I can't say the same. I'm usually listening to music.
Yeah.
That's good. And something I was going to say off of what you were, Sean, in fact, all you were saying is part of the journey. Part of being holy in front of God is the journey it took to get there. It's like the purification. And so there are things that God lets us go through. He lets us go through hard things so that we will know why we need to choose Him. It ain't going to work any other way, And so, heck, there's even a song that y'all remember this old? Gosh, it was back in the 2000s. It was a song called "Vast" or "By Vast," and it went. You can't tell me what to do anymore. Now I'm free. Now I'm free. It was kind of it was a real short thing, but I got that album. I liked it. This is probably 20 years ago, and I listened to it. And one of the songs on there, I had it down here. It's called "I'm Dying." It's saying, "Jesus, are you the Christ?" The guy's literally asking, "Are you the Christ?" in it. I remember hearing that, and I was like, dude, I would talk to. I mean, he's a rock star. He doesn't care about talking to me, but I would talk to him about that. Like, wow, there's people out there literally asking the question, even in some of the songs sometimes.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ, we're all made by Him and for Him. It's always going to come back to Him, always. And so, anyway, we all have some thoughts. It seemed like.
Yeah, there's something about music. I don't fully understand it, but it's definitely a release of emotions. It's also an outlet for creativity. So you've got all these things, and music in general is even scientifically, it's very beneficial. It's been proven, especially for kids to grow up and but I mean, those benefits, and it could be, let's say, even as a Christian, so we go through stresses, we go through times of sadness, excitement, whatever, any of those emotions. But we can play music, and I think it's a very healthy outlet for those things. I mean, you think about the alternative. I mean, when I was younger, I was a raging alcoholic, and so the outlet was definitely not healthy. And so music, I think, is a way better way to.
And I think it has to do with the calling too. Like each one of us is gifted in this room, and there's like no doubt that Shannon's a gifted singer, Sean, gifted instrumentalist, and Jason, all around gifted musician. And I've been complimented myself as being a good singer. And I used to sing primarily just because I loved to do it, and then it grew into I love to do it, and it got me some recognition, and I love that as well. But then there was a time when I didn't sing for a long time, and the depression just sank in my life. And, it was just, I didn't find much joy, if I found any at all. And then so finally getting back to singing, and I started to remember this joy. But after I had found Christ, it became a new thing. It was no longer about me. Then it was about not everybody can sing. The majority of the congregation are not musicians and not singers or they don't have a high level of skill, I'll say. But they still love to sing, and they love to be led in song. And so what I've come to know is that, like in Matthew 25, there was a parable of some gentlemen who were each given a talent, and the ones who invested their talent and used it, and they were considered blessed, but the one who hid his talent and did nothing with it, he was considered cursed. And, I had found that same kind of curse in my life, and I've also come to find the same blessing in giving that gift away, taking it and using it for somebody else's benefit, not just my own. And God's, obviously, clearly.
Yeah, and I know the word talent is for money, but I think it's also a little bit weird that it literally is talent. Like God does give us talents, but more than just money to invest, or and yeah, exactly. Yes, you're going to be depressed because you're not. If you're not doing what God put you to do here, you're just going to be depressed because you're not being who you're supposed to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, and that leads into another thing, and I want to keep hearing from you, Nick, is that if you're, let's see, I'll look at the camera here. If you are a musician listening to this podcast and you're like, I haven't been playing anywhere, I haven't been doing anything, it's because you're supposed to play. You're supposed to do something with it. You're meant to do something with it, and with other people. It's you can get on the internet, you can record, do that stuff, but you're not going to be doing it in community. It's not going to there's not going to be any perceived connection from it. I don't think, and so and we saw that really with you a lot, Nick. I mean, like because you're the most recent to come in.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people at church I've had be like, oh my gosh, he's so great having Nick here. And I've been thinking like, why hasn't Nick been here for like 6 years? Where the heck was he? But
Nick came in strong, just ready to sing and lead.
Yeah, one day he was not there, and then the next day he was there. It was amazing.
Yeah,
it was strange.
I've been there for 100 years, and I'm like a statue. I'm the guy
Methuselah over here.
Introverted, just doesn't make any facial expressions. Unless like I hit the wrong note, then everybody will see it on my face. But unfortunately,
we do see that.
Yeah.
You have a hard time shutting the face.
I'm trying to get my reflex to when I make like a weird face because I do something wrong. Is I also look at one of y'all.
Yeah. There you go. Put it off onto one of us. I can kind of speak to that though, not Sean's face, but the not singing and feeling a void. We moved to the Marble Falls area in 2017, and we didn't start coming to the Methodist Church till after COVID. But we started here because my sister and her brother, her husband and their kids were coming, and we just hadn't found a church that fit for us in Marble Falls. And when we moved here and I started coming to the church, and I just loved the worship team, watching the, everybody trading off and different people singing. And I just remembered how much I just missed that because I was an active part of that in the church that I was from in Uvalde, although we were a whole lot more of a kind of country guitar group, so we didn't sing as much of the contemporary. We didn't sing any contemporary.
Okay.
It took a lot to get them to do any contemporary anything. But I pushed it, tried, but I really missed it. And so I sat in the pews and enjoyed the church service for about 2 years.
Wow. That was here?
That was here.
Oh, really? Wow.
Before I finally said, I wonder if they'd be interested in having somebody else come up and sing.
Yeah.
And my sister was like, well, just go ask them. Like, what's it going to hurt? And so I did. I went and asked you, and you're like, oh, yeah, we'd love to have you. And then that just kind of slowly turned into more of me participating, and kind of the same at Bill's. At first, it was really kind of like the Burnet Showcase guys that were doing all the other things, that were doing all of that, and then slowly kind of adding a little more. And so it's filled a void that I definitely had in my life that I was definitely missing, and really felt that, it was a big chunk of my life that was missing.
Well, and that also made with Shannon, that makes me like you're more than just a singer. Obviously, we're all more than just, musicians, obviously. But in your case, like, I will intentionally text you, like, I need somebody who will express their heart in front of the church and say something well. And really all y'all are this way too anyways, but I thought, and after a while, I think Shannon's perfect. I think she'll deliver something from the Lord's heart. And it's not even singing. It's like you're introducing a song. And you're, and every time, like, it's from the heart. I remember I put out a little video reel. It was of you. And what was the last thing you did? It was really good. It was I can't remember.
I don't remember. It was something right before one of the songs that we sang.
Yeah, it was the intro to one song. And it's really powerful, I mean, it was just so, that goes back to everybody here is put in so much more than just playing guitar or singing, or playing an instrument.
Well, and for me, it is a ministry. It's the ministry that I felt called in early on when I was young, and we didn't, Uvalde's small town, we don't have a lot of really, I don't know that there's any church that has anything that's like this in Uvalde even, but just being able to share the bit of talent that I was given as a musician felt like that's where God was drawing me. And it's the one place that I always felt like I might not always have money that I can give back to the church, and I might not always have a lot of extra time that I can give to the church, but I can give my talent in singing and leading worship in that way. I can lead scripture readings. I can do those things, and that's where I felt natural.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, and the beauty of parables and the lessons that God gives us is they're usually a lot deeper than things that we come up with. And so even if a parable or story is not necessarily specifically saying one thing, doesn't mean it's not also leading, kind of saying a lot of things. So different circumstances ultimately. And so with the talent thing, everything that that we're able to do should be in the for the glory of God. And so and like I said, it's not just 2 hours a week kind of thing. It's really all of our ministries are going to be every day while we're out in the world, and so expectation is a big thing I talk about, because that was a big conviction of mine that really helped me years ago. Was what's your expectation for, let's say, why do I go to church, or why do I go to Bible study, or why do I, whatever. And a lot of it's just because when you talked about not forsaking the gathering, right? Well, that's important. When we are out in the world, when we are around things that influence us, we need to be around, our family. We need to be around, and I don't mean just blood family, but through Christ. And so when you look at it that way, when you look at the importance of really just being available, being around people, anything goes with that, as far as, God can use you however he wants, if that's your expectation. So it could be we go to church and we have sermons and we have worship and all this stuff, but honestly, a lot of the impact I see personally is in the hallways when you're talking to somebody and it leads to a conversation. You're building relationships with people, and that's just me personally. That's where I see a lot of it, and just the relationships, because there are people that may not be as involved in church, but they've built relationships just from going there that have, now they have friends that they're doing Bible studies outside of church, or they have somebody to call on, and it leads to tons of things. So for me, if you can just focus on that, is just being around the right people, at least a few times a week if you can. God can use that in ways that we wouldn't imagine.
Absolutely. And I mean, I remember an old pastor. We went to a church in a sheet metal shop with a guy, and he was the owner of the company. There was like 10 people that went to church, and he would always say, if you lay with dogs, you'll get fleas. And, I come to find out it was pretty true in my life that, I didn't even want the fleas from the dogs that I was hanging out with, right? And I still got the fleas, I still got the bad habits from the people with the, worse off habits than I did. It would rub off on you, and it's the same way whenever you're grouped together with believers, that faith and, the favor that you're walking in will rub off on others as well.
Yeah, it's sad to see, because I do know some people, they're not really out too much. They're kind of hermits and stuff, and I try to involve them and stuff as much as I can, because there are people that God can use greatly, and they're talented, and they have so many gifts. Everybody does, I think. And so it is kind of a shame when you see somebody that's, they're just hiding out, because, I mean, how can you be used if you're not around people, how can you receive, how can you give? And so I try to encourage when I see that to kind of get people out of their shell.
If you're a hermit, get down here. We need you. We miss you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Just
understand we were on sermons. I know I was an extremely introverted person myself, and I think Sean can relate in that department. That
I'm introverted.
I could go days without seeing a person, and that would just be 100% fine with me.
Yeah.
And, just through the process of the growth that I experienced with the Holy Spirit, now now I can't sit at home for 3 days by myself anymore. I'll go crazy. I'll have to go to the gas station to see somebody. But fortunately, we do have this outlet of believers. We get together, we talk about each other's lives. We're interested in each other's lives, and not just, what they got going on. What can we do to help, And those are benefits that we'll never find staying around the house, Depression sinks in really easily whenever we're alone. We become easy bait for Satan, if you will. And, they say lions don't attack zebras, right? Packs of zebras. Because, they're in a large crowd. The lion's going to take some kind of collateral damage trying to go after a large herd of zebras. The zebra's a lot safer in a herd than it is on its own, Wildlife. It's not too much different than this life we're living. I don't know if y'all have looked outside. It's pretty wild out there.
That's for sure.
But I promise you, not just your salvation is safer, your blessing is safer. Your money is going to be safer brought into the house of God. And your talents, obviously.
It's good. It's very good. Yeah. That's not bad. Well, thanks, guys. And again, that's kind of our last little part here is if you're seeing this, you're a musician out there, we miss you already. We just don't know you yet, so we want to know you. Yeah. Especially, man, if you want to use your music to honor Jesus, we want to do that. It could be all kinds of music. Do that, Wednesday night.
Come down. Join us.
On down. You may even get to help us tear down the first time you come.
Yeah. And if you get to stay till 11 o'clock at night, and then we can have another conversation till midnight like Sean and I did, and you might get home and get some rest. Find yourself fully rested, still ready to go the next day on less sleep than you thought you needed.
I do typically sneak out before we hit that point, but I do have to be up and at work pretty early the next day. So
no, definitely no. Well, actually, we keep joking about how it's what I guess you and Ethan, the newest guys, and y'all came and helped us tear down. It's basically what I could say. We were joking why did you stay? But we're having a good conversation. We were we're talking about the Lord. We're getting to know each other, and so even hauling just a bunch of crap around, you can have some pretty good conversations. Sweating and grunting. So
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Ethan was just talking to me. He was just there. And then, like, the next week, yeah, he helped us tear down. Then the next week, he's been there ever since. And then Nick, you know, we've known each other forever, you know, since the 1900s. So,
Man, y'all are old.
went
Before the turn of the
to
century.
school together, and and hadn't seen each other in years. And he came back, and now here he is. And so it's like Jason says, I'm like the honey to this beehive, you know. I'm just kidding.
It makes everything
I don't
stick.
think I say that. I don't think I say that at all. In fact,
Are you slimy?
slimy. Yeah. Oh man, you'll even get awkward jokes. Yeah, no, it's just I definitely love you guys. It's been I'm looking forward to a lot more years together. You know, so yeah,
Absolutely.
So thanks for sharing, and this is what we're trying to do is a music community. A little bit of an overview. If you are in the music community and you're wondering why am I not in this podcast, well, you will be. You will be. I'm going to be coming for you. I'll ask you later, so you won't get away. So don't be thinking
Your turn's coming, Heather.
Yes, your turn is coming very soon.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Ethan.
All right, well, cool. Well, bless you guys. Thank you guys again. And, and you guys, if y'all are singing this by Wednesday, come down to Bill's Burgers.
Absolutely.
Yes, we're playing cover music and gospel music and eating
get some
burgers
good
together.
food and good music. And good fellowship.
Yes.
Right. All right, guys. Well, God bless you all.